Intruders. Among America's priceless heritages is that of freedom of the press. This is the true story of John Peter Zenger, a little known and unsung hero, whose fearless honesty and determination gave this country a gift to democracy. "13-year-old John Peter Zenger came to America in 1710, an immigrant from Germany. With your father dead, John, it's up to you to be the man of the family. That means getting work. It won't be easy, Mother. I'm a German boy in the colony of the King of England, but I've always wanted to be a printer. I'll try to get a job with one and learn the business." He got a job as an apprentice printer with William Bradford, publisher of New York's only newspaper, the Weekly Gazette. "John, you've been with us many years, so I want to give you a chance to be a reporter. I want you to cover the arrival of Governor Cosby, the new governor of New York." "Yes, sir. I understand this to be a big parade." Since New York was still an English colony, the King of England appointed its governors. In 1732, William S. Cosby arrived from England to take over. "Well, so that's our new governor. He doesn't impress me half so much as does our present governor, Rip Van Dam. But I suppose it's in the king's right to choose his own governors for the colonies." Zenger's estimate of Governor Cosby was more accurate than he knew. After the parade, there was a dramatic scene in outgoing Governor Van Dam's office. "I was appointed to this post over a year ago. All of the salary you have been collecting in that time is really mine. 'Tis not my fault that you took so long getting to New York. I earned that salary and mean to keep it." "The old fool! Does he think I am to be pushed around? Have the court convened, and I'll sue him for every cent he owes me. Appoint Judges Morris, Phillips, and Delancey to the court. An admirable trio, sir. They are among New York's finest judges." But Cosby was in for a surprise. The court, presided over by Judge Lewis Morris, ruled in favor of ex-Governor Van Dam. "This court orders that the Governor Van Dam be empowered to keep his fees and salary paid to him during his tenure as acting governor of this colony. Drop an order removing Morris from office and replace him with Delancey." Morris was no quitter. Removed from his bench, he promptly ran for the assembly. John Peter Zenger was assigned to report on the elections. "Those men are sailors from all over the world. Just because they are in port here, Cosby is trying to let them vote his way. He's a mean one, that Cosby. He'll stop at nothing." The people were against Cosby, and Lewis Morris was elected to the assembly. Zenger, however, ran into trouble. "But, Mr. Bradford, every word of it is true. I can prove it. Foreigners trying to vote, sheriffs intimidating voters. It may be true, but the law says that you can't criticize the governor. If the governor is being dishonest, we ought to tell the people about it. It's all very well for you to talk. You won't have to go to jail for libel. You're too dangerous to have around, Zenger. You're fired. Get out." Zenger didn't realize it at first, but getting fired was sheer luck. "Mr. Zenger, my name is Lewis Morris. As you know, I'm out to get Governor Cosby's scalp. I need a newspaper that will fight him. Will you print such a newspaper for me?" "I'd be delighted. It's time the people got a chance to read the truth." That night, "Good news, Anna. Judge Lewis will back me in a new newspaper. We're going to let the people know what a tyrant Governor Cosby is." "Careful, John. Governor Cosby is a harsh foe." Zenger didn't write any articles for his weekly journal. He merely printed. Here's the articles for your next issue, John. Every word the truth. I'd like to see Cosby's face when he reads it. Maybe the people will petition the king for his recall. Here are the copies, sir. Everyone in town is reading them. Humph! Scandalous. Order the sheriff to confiscate all copies immediately. Burn them in the city square. The governor's orders were followed, but the fight for good government went on. The people won't stand for this. Neither will I. We'll print again next week. More paper, sir. Zenger didn't mind last week's fire. That immigrant printer's got too much nerve. I'll have him jailed for attacking the king's government. Thus, on November 17th, 1734, it is ordered that the sheriff for the city of New York do forthwith apprehend John Zenger for printing seditious libels tending to raise tumults among the people, inflaming their minds with contempt of His Majesty's government, and greatly disturbing the peace. John Zenger, by order of the King's Council, you're under arrest. Cosby's orders, you mean? Don't worry, Anna. No jury would convict me for printing the truth. Your friends are out in force, Zenger, but they can't stop us from taking you to jail. They don't take violence into their own hands. If I get a fair trial, the judge and jury will set me free. Governor Cosby is more powerful than I thought. He's fixed it so that my two lawyers are forbidden to practice law in New York. Any other lawyer knows to defend me means being disbarred. I may have to plead my own case, but what chance would I have with Judge Delancey, who is just a Cosby pawn? And print the news of my arrest and how I'm deprived of lawyers. The truth is our only weapon. Don't fail to get out the weekly journal. I will, John. Don't fear. I will. Anna didn't fail her husband. It's a shame. Some of the finest men in the colonies write articles in his defense, but no lawyer dares to step into a courtroom to defend him. We're going to ask Andrew Hamilton to defend John, Anna. Why, he's the greatest lawyer in the colonies, but he's old and ailing, and a long trip from Philadelphia. Will he do it? We have come to plead your aid in defeating John Peter Zenger. We know you are ill, but there is no one else powerful enough to defy Governor Cosby. Gentlemen, I will raise my voice to defend the patriot Zenger. There is but one condition I ask. If Cosby hears of this in advance, he'll take steps to prevent my coming to New York. You must tell no one I'm to be Zenger's lawyer. I'll take Judge Delancey by surprise before he invents an excuse to prevent me from entering the courtroom. Unable to secure counsel, Zenger languished 9 months in prison. But one day, yes, John, I said Andrew Hamilton. I knew freedom would find a voice. I'm only a poor printer, but perhaps I'll win this case yet, Anna. In August of 1733, John Peter Zenger was finally brought to trial in New York. I, Judge Delancey, by authority of the powers vested in me by the King's Council and the Governor of New York, do declare this court in session. John Peter Zenger, you are accused of libel and disturbance of the peace. Have you a lawyer to plead your case? I have, Your Honor. My attorney is Mr. Andrew Hamilton. Hooray! He must be 80 years old. I thought he was dying in Philadelphia. Drat that Zenger! We've got to stop Hamilton. He's the most gifted orator in the colonies. Bar him! Too late, Governor. I'll do my best to shut him up, but I can't stop him from pleading his case. It is charged that John Peter Zenger did, at different times, print statements in his weekly journal which attacked the governor of the state. Read some of the attacks, please. Here is one. Whosoever shall go about undermining a people's right to trial by jury is an enemy and a traitor to his government. We all know Governor Cosby abolished trial by jury in a case some time ago. In that case, Governor, I should be proud to have written the same thing. But you must remember, Zenger didn't write this. He only printed what others wrote. Under the law, the man who prints the story is the one responsible. I'd admit that I printed the paper. Everyone knows that. The law of this colony is quite clear. Any attack on the government of this colony, true or not, is considered libelous. The defendant admits printing these attacks. It is obvious. He is guilty. I object, Your Honor. This is a trial by jury. It is not up to the judge to decide the case. Very well, Mr. Hamilton. Address the jury. I hope to be pardoned for my zeal on this occasion, but it is an old and wise proverb. When our neighbor's house is on fire, we ought to take care of our own. I live in a government where liberty is understood and enjoyed, but it is every honest man's duty to guard against the abuse of power, so that liberty shall not be suppressed. I am an old sick man, but I think it my duty, if required, to go to the uttermost part of the land in defense of liberty. Men who oppress cause the people to cry out in complaint, then make that very complaint the excuse for new oppressions. This case is not the cause of a poor printer, nor of New York alone. No, it is a cause of liberty everywhere. Bravo! I never thought of it that way. I was just fighting one man. But now I realize that in fighting Governor Cosby's evil acts, I was actually fighting against corrupt government everywhere, Anna. Dicey, you got to stop that raving maniac. He's swaying the jury. He's telling them that they are equal under the law, even equal to a king, and that they have a right to criticize the king's government. And I can't do a thing to stop him. Is our liberty so sick that printing the truth shall be against the law? I am prepared to prove every word my client printed is the truth. The question before the court is whether John Peter Zenger has the right to speak and write the truth. Hamilton finished and received from the courtroom a perfect tribute. Applause. The jury will kindly file out. John, I am proud to defend you. Win or lose, it has been a glorious chance to strike a blow for freedom. Order in the court. That Zenger had courage. Freedom carries a duty, and he saw it through. Hamilton makes you proud to be a free man. Have you reached a decision? We have, Your Honor. Oh, John. Courage, Anna. I, Thomas Hunt, foreman of this jury, report that we have found the defendant, John Peter Zenger, innocent of all charges, not guilty. Why? Oh, John, you're free. And because he's free, my dear, all the colonies are free. Free to criticize their government and fight the tyrants who might try to oppress them. Zenger continued to publish until 9 years later he died. Today, this unsung hero lies in an unmarked grave. He gave America its precious freedom of the press. And remember, all this took place 30 years before the signing of the Declaration of Independence.